Tonight on News 22.
Representative and gubernatorial candidate Steve Pierce answers questions on the NMSU campus.
Hurricane Michael is tearing through the Florida Gulf Coast.
And Marlene Barraza takes a closer look at sportsmanship problems in New Mexico.
All this and more on News 22 Wednesday.
Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Garcia Moreno.
And I'm Amanda Adame.
New Mexico State Representative and gubernatorial candidate Steve Pierce is making his way around the state on his campaign.
Today, he stopped by NMSU and spoke with the school's college Republicans and anyone else who is interested in speaking with him. He answered questions on many topics ranging from poverty, President Trump's plan for a border wall, and sanctuary cities.
No, I will not support sanctuary cities. If you can say that we don't support one law, then you can say you don't support any law. So maybe a city says we're going to have a city without protection for minorities. Would you be in favor of that? Because once you say that anybody can start supporting or not supporting law based on their particular viewpoint, now then you don't have the rule of law. So we got to be able to hire the people for the day.
Steve Pierce is running against Democrat Michelle Lujan Grisham in a tight race for governor.
Campaign spending in the race for governor has increased over a 4-week period. The two candidates have spent a combined $2.6 million. Candidate Michelle Lujan Grisham raised more than $1 million in contributions and spent $1.6 million. The Pierce campaign raised about $400,000 and spent just over $1 million. The two will face off on the debate on KRWG October 21st at 6 p.m.
Trump administration's expansion of junk health insurance healthcare plans was voted to be overturned by U.S. Senators Tom Udall and Martin Heinrich today. Earlier this year, the administration finalized a new policy to weaken healthcare protections for people across New Mexico, leaving out coverage for basic medical needs, including mental health, prescription drugs, and maternity care. Heinrich and Udall believe the junk plans are intended to undermine the ACA and will only drive up healthcare costs for those who need it most.
I'm really liking this chilly weather.
I know, I'm hoping it sticks around. Vicky is next with weather to tell us if it is.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. This is Victoria Valderrama taking a look at your current conditions. Right now in Las Cruces, we have clear skies with a temperature of 70 degrees. Winds coming from the southwest at 8 miles per hour. Our humidity is at 27%. Our dew point reads at 35 degrees and our barometer sits at 29.83 inches. Today in Las Cruces, we woke up to a low of 51 degrees. And we had a high of 76 degrees. The average for this day is 62 degrees. But traveling back in time, in 1996, we had an all-time high of 92 degrees. And in 1970, we had an all-time low of 34 degrees. We had no rain today, so our yearly rainfall stays at 3.77 inches. That's all I have for you right now, but I'll be back with your national forecast. Back to Mandy and Kelly at the desk.
Hurricane Michael is bearing down on Florida's Panhandle, the strongest storm to make landfall in the continental U.S. since 1992.
The eyewall of the storm made landfall near Mexico Beach with sustained winds at 155 miles per hour. Natasha Chen has the latest on the monster storm.
Hurricane Michael slamming into the Florida Panhandle. A monster storm gaining intensity with the potential to cause catastrophic damage.
Probably as bad as I've ever seen it.
Florida's governor issuing a stark warning to any residents who didn't evacuate.
Now the storm is here. The time to evacuate in coastal areas has come and gone.
Some residents who decided to stay sharing photos of where they are riding out the storm. Many bridges connecting islands to the mainland now closed.
What's the most surprising and the most astounding, to be quite honest, is how quickly the storm surge has taken over this town.
Officials warn of a storm surge that could reach 14 feet in some areas.
Storm surge is going to be the worst where the eye makes landfall. So not only is it going to bring 14 feet of ocean water and coastal flood inundation, there'll be wave action on top of that.
Tens of thousands of customers are already without power. Officials say it may not be restored for days, possibly weeks. President Trump received a briefing on the storm by FEMA.
I had a long talk with Rick Scott, Governor Scott of Florida. Very well coordinated with all of the states.
Millions of people across 6 states are under hurricane warnings and watches as the storm is expected to blow over Georgia and the Carolinas in the next few days.
Crime Stoppers is rewarding anyone who has information on identifying the person who fired multiple rounds at apartment buildings. The shots were called in to police at The Verge, apartments 320 East Union Avenue, on Friday, October 5th, with multiple buildings having signs of gunshots. Although no injuries were reported, the shooter was believed to be on foot, running to a nearby mobile home park. If anyone has information that may help identify the suspect, Las Cruces Crime Stoppers asks you to please come forward. You will remain anonymous. Two teen girls are under arrest in connection to the shooting of an 18-year-old man between Santa Fe and Rio Arriba. Police say it was a case of mistaken identity. Police say the girls and 4 others were in a car and someone fired a gun from the car they were in. Cameron Martinez of Española was killed and 3 others injured when the shooters mistakenly targeted their vehicle.
Federal drug trafficking along the southwestern border is at an all-time low after the Trump administration launched a zero-tolerance crackdown that separated thousands of children from their parents. Zero tolerance was the decision to prosecute everyone caught entering the USA illegally. A spokeswoman for the New Mexico State Attorney's Office said the drop is completely unrelated to the new immigration efforts.
Habitat for Humanity has kicked off their building season for 2018. They began building on the World Habitat Day on October 1st.
They're building a total of 5 homes by April. Alyssa Diaz has more.
Karina Mueller and her husband have 2 boys. Karina says that they've been living with her in-laws and they have not been able to get ahead so they could buy their own place. But with the help of Habitat for Humanity, her dream is coming true.
To have our own space, they're all excited. Like my other half, he's very excited. So, and the boys, they're excited. They can't wait to have their own rooms, and it's a blessing for everybody.
The Las Cruces group has been building homes for 27 years. Executive Director Candace Butler says Las Cruces has an especially high need for affordable housing.
We're kind of trying to do our part as far as making a better impact in our community and providing people with home ownership and also giving them the financial training tools to help them further themselves in all aspects of their lives.
People who are selected for a Habitat home must provide what's called sweat equity, meaning they must be part of the building crew.
It's exciting.
Steve Kelly has been building homes since he retired in July. He started in Colorado and came to Las Cruces with a group called the RV Caravanners. They travel around the country helping build homes.
I love that at the end of the day you can look over your shoulder and see what you actually did that day.
99-year-old Malcolm Fell started as a carpenter, but now he takes pictures for Habitat.
I asked somebody at the church what it was about and they grabbed me. And since then, I've been hooked.
He says while the main point is helping people have a home, working with Habitat helps all the volunteers realize they are part of making a better world. Alyssa Tejas, News 22.
Governor Susana Martinez announced that the tourism industry generated the largest economic impact in New Mexico history for the 7th year in a row, incorporating $6.6 billion into New Mexico's economy. The 3 places visitors spend most money in 2017 are lodging, food and beverage, retail, and recreation. Visitor spending in 2017 made $662 million in state and local taxes. Tourism is an important economic driver in New Mexico, leading job growth since 2010. New Mexico Santa Ana Star Casino and Hotel opens the state's first legal sports book. A Las Vegas company has partnered with Santa Ana Pueblo to make a full sports book. This will also allow gamblers to bet on NFL, college sports, NASCAR, and even minor league baseball. The only thing people can't bet on is high school games. Everything else will be available. The Las Vegas company has also been working with the staff to train them, write tickets, take wagers, and pay winners.
Stay tuned, Victoria will be back with your national forecast.
And later, what kills 99.9% of germs but only spares the 0.01%? More on that when News 22 continues.
Hi, I'm Rick Bayless, and I'd like to invite you on a journey with me through a different Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula. On season 11 of Mexico One Plate at a Time, I'm going to introduce you to the region's most creative chefs, making truly amazing dishes inspired by the local markets and all the rich culinary traditions.
Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
Registering to vote in New Mexico is easy. Forms are available at Department of Motor Vehicles offices and your county clerk's office. And those with a driver's license or other state ID may register to vote online at sos.state.nm.us. You must be 18 years old at the time of the next election. Voting is a responsibility of citizenship. This message brought to you by KRWG.
Right, be okay?
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Wednesday,
where news matters. A giant heart made out of puzzle pieces on the NMSU campus is now a representation of all the people who donated to raise awareness for Autism Today.
The College of Business held a fundraiser selling paper puzzle pieces for $1 each. The pieces were assembled in a giant heart in front of Guthrie Hall and had messages written on them. For one group member, autism is a subject that hits home.
There's been a lot of success stories out there that I've read and found out about, and I know, I believe my son, with a lot of help and support, will be one of those success stories. And I think that every person that's affected with this, every family that's affected with this, should be given that opportunity.
Oh yeah?
No, I'm joking.
Using hand sanitizer may keep young kids more healthy. Researchers in Spain examined hand hygiene among young children in daycare. They studied more than 900 children up to age 3 at 24 daycare centers. During the 8-month study period, they found that children who used hand sanitizer instead of washing with soap and water reduced their sick days, respiratory infections, and antibiotic prescriptions. The study was published Monday in the journal Pediatrics.
Your kids' health might be dramatically impacted by how much time they're spending staring at screens.
Louis Cáceres has more in today's Health Minute.
Phones, computers, TVs, even the watch on your wrist. Screens have become a crucial part of our day-to-day lives. But are they hurting your child's development? According to a new study published by The Lancet, cutting back your kids' screen time to 2 hours a day or less can lead to better brain function. Limiting screen time isn't the only factor in cognitive development. Kids who slept well and were more active functioned better. Experts recommended 9 to 11 hours of uninterrupted sleep per night, and at least 60 minutes of physical activity a day, combined with cutting back on screen time. Those who met all 3 of those goals had improved perception and cognition. Health officials say all 3 impact cognitive development independently, but combining the 3 is key. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Binion.
There are more people using public transportation in the Southwest. The South Central Regional Transit District has reported a 61% increase in ridership in the past 2 years. The company improved routes between Las Cruces and El Paso, which has allowed more riders to become more mobile between the 2 cities. Javier Pereira said the increase was a result of their relentless efforts to raise the public's awareness of bus services.
So it looks like Florida's getting hammered with another storm.
That's right, and unfortunately the people that are there are just going to have to wait it out. Vicky's next with an update.
Thanks, Mandy. Taking a look at our national maps. This video we're watching here is from USA Today, and it shows Hurricane Michael as it churned its way toward Florida earlier today. Now, this video was taken at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, right around the time of its initial impact. And as we can see here, the waves were pretty crazy at this time. And now this hurricane has ripped apart homes and completely submerged buildings because of those strong, intense winds. And in my next map, we're looking closer to home now. Hurricane Sergio is making its way into Mexico, passing Chihuahua, through Texas, and coming here to Las Cruces. Now, for the most part, this hurricane will be slowing down, but we will be expecting rain come Friday and Saturday, so please be aware your Friday night and Saturday night will be cold, will be rainy, and well, be careful on the roads. But moving on to my next map. Albuquerque today had a high of 69 degrees, our neighboring city El Paso at 77 degrees, but in the north they are experiencing some really cold temperatures. Cut Bank at a low of 36 degrees, Billings at 39, Rapid City had snow today and was at 38 degrees, and Kansas stayed with cloudy skies with a high of 55. Now we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk New Mexico local temperatures. You're watching News 22 Wednesday.
Fresh Air with Terry Gross, weekday mornings at 11 on 90.7 FM and streaming live on KRWG.org.
Chocolate. Wow, we finally made it.
Now, I know you ladies said that you wanted to see how the chocolate gets made.
This is one of the happiest days of my life. I want pretzels. Oh, look at this. Ladies, start your engines.
Saturday morning at 9:30 on KRWG-Public Media.
I'm Rick Steves. Join me in Germany as we explore Frankfurt and Nuremberg. In Frankfurt, a city of contrasts, we see today's Germany, a vibrant mix of new and old. Then, in Nuremberg, we marvel at remnants of Germany's First Reich and learn of Hitler and the Third Reich with the architecture of a megalomaniac. Finally, we go underground for a peek at history seldom seen.
Saturday at 8 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
Welcome back. Now taking a look at temperatures across New Mexico. Farmington is at 58 degrees, Santa Fe 54, Clovis 62, Roswell 70, and Deming at 70 degrees as well. And for tomorrow, Farmington will be at 62 degrees, Santa Fe at 62 as well. Albuquerque at 70, Ruidoso at 66, and Deming at 77. Our neighboring cities, Alamogordo, tonight will have clear skies with a low of 52, and tomorrow a high of 76. In TRC tonight, clear skies as well with a low of 49, and tomorrow cloudy skies with a high of 78. In Silver City tonight, a low of 41, and tomorrow a high of 69. And in Las Cruces tonight, we will have clear skies with a low of 51, and tomorrow a high of 79. That's all I have for your local temperatures, but don't go anywhere yet. Yvonne will be back with all your sports action.
Friday Night Lights under the football stadium is a nationwide phenomenon.
But recently, high school games in New Mexico have been moved to either Thursday or Saturday because an important element is missing that every sport needs. News 22's Marlene Barraza tells us the negative decline that the state has been a victim of.
I still get a little knot in my stomach.
For Robert Nunez, his love of sports began when he was 5 years old. He played baseball in college, and after graduating, he wanted to stay involved and give back to the community. And what better way than to have the best seat in the house as a referee. He's done it for 27 years, but wearing the stripes comes with a price. The number of people who officiate is down, not only for the state of New Mexico, but also nationwide.
We're not seeing the individuals wanting to come out and put in the time and effort and also receive the criticism from the parents, from the fans, from the coaches, and sometimes even from the players.
But that criticism can turn into disrespect, and the stripes become a target.
When you have to step out on the court and you're wearing your stripes and you have your whistle and you have to make decisions, it's a kind of a different breed of person.
Just last month, this video from Albuquerque of a parent body slamming a referee circulated through social media, and some parents are disturbed.
I think that's absolutely wrong. I mean, we have to be a role model for our kids and for our boys, and so if you're going to get out there and get physical, and you've crossed the line.
And this type of behavior makes it hard to recruit new and young officials. Dana Pappas of the New Mexico Athletic Association says the National Association of Sports Officials recently did a study. They asked over 17,000 officials around the nation why they stopped officiating. The biggest reason? Bad sportsmanship. Robert Nunez says the crowd needs to remember that it's just a game.
We are human. We make mistakes. We try to be as consistent as possible. We try to be as fair as possible, but everybody looks at fair in two different colors.
In an attempt to gain new officials, the NMA has advertised at schools, called up recent graduates, and approved a pay increase that takes effect next year. But Nunez says what would help the most is good sportsmanship. Marlene Barraza, News 22.
That homecoming game this weekend was great, but so is the tailgating.
Alan took a closer look. He's next to sports.
Thanks, Amanda and Kelly. Find out how the NMSU women's golf team did at the Aggie Invitational. We'll be right back with News 22 Sports.
Next time on Two for the Road, we kick off an epic adventure in the place where adventure lives, Costa Rica.
Don't lose me, don't lose me.
We'll explore the craziness that is its capital city.
We're headed to the market if I don't get ran over.
We'll soar above the jungle next to a volcano.
Oh my God.
And come face to face with one of the craziest things we've ever done.
I'm freaking out.
Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
Tune in for Frankenstein, a radio drama you can see.
Saturday at 10 p.m. on KRWG Public Media.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Adán Contreras, and let's talk sports. The New Mexico State women's golf team is coming off a great performance at the Aggie Invitational. On the first day of the tournament, the Aggies were in 5th place, but were able to come back and finish the second day in 2nd place. Today was the final day of the tournament, and the Aggies placed 4th as a team with a score of 895. Aggie junior Dominique Galloway placed 1st at the tournament with a total score of 215. Homecoming is a yearly tradition at every university, and this past weekend was NMSU's homecoming. The New Mexico State Aggies football team hosted the Liberty Flames for their 2018 homecoming game. There were festivities all week leading up to the game, including the parade and, of course, the tailgate. I was able to go to the tailgate and see what it was about. Tailgating is a time to relax before the game and talk about the season, and that was one of the main topics. Last year was one of the best in recent Aggie history, but now they're struggling.
Last year we were winning and doing really well, so the momentum was up, and now this year it's kind of dwindled since we're not doing as well, and I don't think that we're going to be able to pick it back up, but maybe next year.
And there were plenty of people who had their own coaching ideas.
We did lose some key players. We lost a couple seniors. Now we are debating on freshmen. But, you know, I would say next season would be a lot better than this season, hopefully.
For too many games, tailgating has been the highlight of the day. But for this homecoming, the team came through. The Aggies held on to beat the Liberty Flames 49-41. Adán Contreras for News 22. The men's and women's basketball teams are looking forward to the upcoming season. Both teams were picked as WAC champions according to the Western Athletic Conference preseason coaches and media polls. From the head coaches poll, the NMSU men's team received 7 first-place votes, while GCU received 2 first-place votes. The NMSU women's team also received 7 first-place votes, and CSU Bakersfield received 2 first-place votes. The men's team is looking to be repeat champions, while the women's team is looking for their 5th WAC championship in a row. The women's tennis team has started play at the ITA Mountain Regionals in Las Vegas, Nevada. The tournament will last 5 days and is hosted by UNLV. It will be held inside the Fertitta Tennis Complex. Results will be posted at the end of the tournament. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Vicky will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast. But first, there's a big event coming to Las Cruces, but it's not your fault. More on that when News 22 continues.
Next time on A Chef's Life.
What's your broccoli dish?
I buy broccoli every single time I go to the grocery store.
Thank you.
So today is pub day for my book, and then our tour will begin. My launch dinner is at Bon Appetit Magazine.
Vivian Howard.
Saturday morning at 10:30 on KRWG Public Media.
Left that wisdom to that home.
Coming up on Austin City Limits.
If they knew what you was thinking, they'd run you out of Lincoln. Just blame it on that Oh, crazy bone, here comes that crazy bone.
Saturday at 9 p.m. on KRWG-Public Media.
Let's take a look at our top stories. Representative and gubernatorial Steve Pierce pays a visit to the NMSU campus. Students on campus had the chance to ask him questions. Alyssa Thea showed us a local home being built by Habitat for Humanity. 5 homes should be built by April. And Marlene Barraza gave us an up-close look at the shortage of referees in Las Cruces. As an attempt to increase referees, there will be a pay increase.
Las Cruces is aiming to once again break a Guinness World Record. Las Cruces was once in the Guinness Book of World Records for having made the world's largest enchilada. Now city leaders are aiming toward a new record, nachos. The plan is to take pounds of cheese, chili, and truckloads of tortilla chips to make a 5,000-pound nachos plate. The ingredients for the enormous nachos plate will come from New Mexico to promote New Mexico agricultural products. The plan is to make the giant nacho plate in downtown Las Cruces on November 10th.
That's a great.
Yeah, that looks really good too.
So tell us what the next 5 days are looking like.
So for the next couple days, we are going to be staying pretty chill in the 70s. But come Friday and Saturday, well, our rain chances will increase, how I was telling you in National. So keep that umbrella handy. And of course, Sunday and Monday, as next week begins, our rain chances will still be there. So, you know, keep that poncho, keep a light jacket handy. So be aware.
Sounds good. I love that weather.
Me too.
And don't forget, you can catch all of today's aired stories and past newscasts on our YouTube page at youtube.com/KRWG News 22.
And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat for show updates and the latest on what the News 22 team is up to.
And that's all for News 22 Wednesday. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Tune in tomorrow for more news from across the Southwest. I'm Amanda Adame.
I'm Kelly Garcia Moreno.
I'm Victoria Valderrama. Good night.
Good night.
This news brief in Español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for Southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Y bienvenidos a este breve informativo de Noticias 22. Francisco Soto con ustedes. El Departamento de Policía de Las Cruces necesita su ayuda para identificar al sospechoso que disparó varias veces hacia un complejo de apartamentos. El viernes pasado por la noche, la policía de Las Cruces respondió a una llamada de disparos en los apartamentos The Verge, en la esquina de la avenida Unión y Stern. Oficiales llegaron al lugar y encontraron a uno de los edificios con señales de múltiples balas. Los investigadores creen que el tirador huyó de los apartamentos a pie. Si usted tiene información que pueda ayudar a identificar al sospechoso, favor de llamar alto al crimen de Las Cruces. El número aparece en su pantalla. En otras noticias, en Florida, el huracán Michael aumentó fuerza y tocó tierra en el noroeste del estado. El huracán de categoría 4 llegó a Florida cerca de la ciudad de Panamá alrededor después de 1 de la tarde. Vientos de más de 100 millas por hora se registraron en el huracán. El huracán Michael es la tormenta más fuerte que ha llegado a los Estados Unidos desde el huracán Andrew en 1992. También es el huracán más fuerte en tocar el brazo de terreno de Florida en la historia del estado. Gracias por su atención. Para Noticias 22, Francisco Soto.